Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Good
Hey, good
morning.
morning. Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we played Mr. Brandon
This
Long,
must
St.
say
Louis artist Ghost. What up this morning to get the show popping?
good
What
Good
morning.
morning. Good
up?
morning. Good morning. What up? What up? That's what they saying in the city. You know what I'm saying? Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody?
We are doing well. Thank you for giving us this music to wake us up this morning. We definitely needed to hear what you had to say. Although we've been
Right
kicking
on.
it since about 5:30 in the
I
morning.
dig
Yes.
that. Dig that. I got the shovel. I can dig it. I can
Love
dig
it. And so I'm gonna go to Zoom first before I hit my studio guest. Good morning, Mr. Mark Clements.
Good morning. Good morning, St. Louis.
Thank you for tuning in all the way from the Chi-Town.
Chi-town in the building.
Chi-town in the
In the
house.
house.
In the house.
The wind is shy.
So we are going to make this about Mr. Mark Clemens. He is our featured guest today on the show. We got a little bit of business before we turn it over to you. And so we're going to go into the panel real quick. Miss Yolanda Woods, good morning.
Good morning. How are you all doing there?
And you
Morning,
you
morning.
tell everybody where you zooming in from?
I'm zooming in from Greensboro, North Carolina. I own the company
Right,
Black
right.
Sea of Hope.
So we had Chi-Town, North Carolina. Oh, so we tri-state again. And then good morning. We got Miss Trisha Martin in the house.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I am zooming in from the STL. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hey, she already knew the play. So I'm gonna say my name and where I'm from. I know what to do. Let's get it.
Right, this is our Red Hawk spiritual advisor. She'll be doing her cleanse here in a hot second. So I know you ready for us, beautiful.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. You want me to do it like right now, right now?
Let me get done with my finishing intros, and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right.
So, and then in the studio, we have Mr. Brandon Long Ghost, who, what up, what up?
Hey, what up? What up, St. Louis? What it is, man? Y'all know what it is, who it is, man. Y'all know what we got going on. Y'all know what's happening. Underground flavors. Say less, man. We here. We here. We in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got some real important things we really, really need to discuss today. And we're going to get into it. And I'm thankful and honored and privileged to be on the platform and have an opportunity to, you know what I mean, to chill with some wonderful sisters and a good brother. You know what I mean? So, shit, we in here, man, on a Saturday morning. We up and early for the hood.
Indeed, indeed.
And then we got this man right here that should be no stranger to this show, Mr. Jamal Ingram of Slick Town Records.
Good morning. Good morning. We here, y'all. I'm looking forward to what all we got to say. What's gonna be taught today on this platform. Definitely what we got coming out the Shy in North Carolina. I'm definitely interested in hear your story, brother.
He's so fire. I don't spend 3 hours with him. He's so fire. And we
He
got
ready, too. Look at it. He like, come on, come
know
on,
you
come
got
on.
your
He
body
ready.
Look, you're right. He ready. He ready. And then we got this beautiful lady, Chantel Davis. If you listened to last week's show, so she's in studio.
Yes, today I came in because I wanted to get away from home, y'all. I was running. But yes,
Yes, we
today,
heard last-
hello, how y'all doing today? Good morning, topic of the day, how to heal our hoods. We're talking about how we stay positive. How do we come together? So like everybody come join in, tune in, get live with us, talk about it with us. Help us help y'all.
Look at her. She is finding her voice because it's
Passionate.
taking her a while
Just
to actually
passionate.
speak.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
she's
really
finding her
is.
voice. And then we
'Cause
got
I
Mr. Chris Collins who just zoomed in. Mr. Chris.
Yeah, I was trying to get the microphone on.
What up, Chris? Good morning.
He just woke up. He like, yeah, I got something to do. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Now, I've been on it all morning. I've been talking to all
He
kinds
said
of
get the
people,
streets fixed first.
so I'm all pumped up.
Can you turn your
I just
volume
get-
up, Chris?
Excuse me?
Can you get your volume up a little bit?
Is this any better?
Very much better.
All right, I'll look at my phone when I talk to it.
So introduce yourself real quick.
Chris Collins, founder of Housing Our People Everywhere, and I'm here to inspire and show people that they all have a purpose. Doesn't matter where you come from. There is equality coming. We just have to come together in unity in every community, giving an equal opportunity.
Sounds good. And now I'm going to turn it over to my Red
I like
Hawk.
that unity in every community providing an equal opportunity.
Oh, he's cold
I like
lyricist.
that.
He
I
a
like
cold
that.
lyricist.
I
I'm
like
telling
that.
you. You know I'm all about the lyrics. He
I
cold.
like that.
Miss Red Hawk, can you start to bless the show?
Yes, I can. Again, I am known as Coach Red Hawk, and what we're about to do now is get rid of this week's whatever. Getting ready to blow it away. So I need for you all to close your eyes with me if you can. I want you to imagine yourselves in front of a giant dump truck, because we get ready to dump. All right, we getting ready to dump all this week's energies, negativities, disappointments, whatever whatever you had on you that wasn't serving your higher good. We getting ready to get rid of that right now. So I want you all to stand in front of that dumpster and just throw all that stuff in the dumpster, all those feelings of anxiety, again, disappointment, guilt even. A lot of us carry guilt. We're going to get rid of that today also. All right? So we're going to do 3 deep breaths before and 3 deep breaths after. And you guys will forgive me. I had a lot on me just dealing with all of the crap of what was going on in Washington. I'm not really a political person, but I got caught up in it just because. So I need to get rid of that. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths before and 3 deep breaths after. You're going to repeat after me. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in and blow out. Breathe in and blow out. Again, breathe in and blow out. Repeat after me. Universe.
Universe.
I'm ready to be made whole again.
I'm ready to be made whole again.
Universe.
Universe.
I consciously open myself to release.
I consciously open myself to release.
Universe.
Universe.
Today I become reborn.
Today I become reborn.
Today I redirect my thoughts.
Today I redirect my thoughts,
My energies.
My energies.
My everything.
My everything.
my everything,
Onto a progressive,
Onto a progressive,
positive path.
positive path.
I relinquish all negative feelings
I relinquish all negative feelings
associated with every negative situation
associated with every negative situation
that I have encountered in this life,
that
I have encountered in this life,
in that life,
in that life,
in that other life.
and that other life.
I give it all back to you.
I give it all back to you.
I call into existence
I call into existence
peace,
peace,
joy,
joy,
love,
love, trust, respect,
respect,
honor,
honor. That one.
What you
Courage.
said.
Courage,
confidence,
confidence,
compassion,
compassion,
support,
support,
strength,
strength,
patience,
patience,
protection,
protection,
guidance,
guidance,
understanding,
understanding,
forgiveness,
forgiveness,
emotional,
emotional,
mental,
mental,
spiritual,
spiritual,
and physical healing.
and physical healing.
Abundance in every area of my life.
Abundance in every area of my life.
And a clear thought process.
And a clear thought process.
I thank you in advance.
I thank you in advance
for recognizing all of my needs.
For recognizing all of my needs.
Taking me on this new journey.
For taking me on this new journey.
One which I deserve.
One which I deserve.
And I am ready for.
And I am ready for.
And so it shall be.
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 Now, in the spiritual community, we deal in the right here and right now. So we're going to bring this into the right here and the right now. And so it is.
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 We're going to take our final 3 deep breaths this time before we blow them out. We're going to imagine ourselves collectively, mighty winds blowing away all of our cares, our concerns, our worries, our disappointments, our fears, our stresses, those exits. We're going to blow all of that unwanted, unneeded, unnecessary energy away. On the count of 3, I want you all to breathe in and blow out like you've never breathed in and blown out before. 1, 2, 3, breathe in and blow out. Breathe in and blow out. One final time, breathe in and blow out.
Thank you for that spiritual cleanse provided by Miss Red Hawk. And Miss Red Hawk, tell people where they can find you.
Actually, you guys can find me all over the internet. Just Google Straight Talk with Red Hawk. You will find all kinds of places where I'm linked up. But I do have a YouTube channel. If you look for Finally the Red Hawk, you can catch me running all of this mouth over there.
And we are thankful for you, our Underground Flavors.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.
And so we just got a little bit of old business real quick before we jump into Mr. Mark Clements. And so I want to do a follow-up of last week. We had Miss Chantel Davis tell her story. And thank you for sharing your story about 3925 Greer. So in the follow-up process, we talked about just a few things. And one of the things I wanted to bring to the light is making sure that we heard what Miss Davis wants for Miss Davis's situation. And so, Ms. Davis, what do you want out of your situation that happened at 3925 Greer?
I just want to know why wasn't I able to take any authentication to owning the building? How come I pay all that rent just for me to win my case and nothing to happen? Those are the things that I want to know. How come I pay all my money to something that I wasn't even able to own in the end?
And so what she's saying, which is really correct. So if you don't know, I'm a tenants' rights advocate. And so during the conversation, we definitely want to talk about what is the resolutions? How do we heal our hoods? And there was many things that were said and spoken, but a lot of times it didn't curtail to what Chantel Davis' situation. And so I just want to make sure that when we do this as a panel in a community, we're careful about what we're talking about, and we make sure that we're mindful of who we're talking about. And so if it's a Chantel Davis model, let's make sure we're listening to what Chantel Davis has to say and what she would like for herself versus just throwing it out there of what should be done. And I really want to just throw that out there to start this off for everybody across the board. Mr. Mark Clements is going to bring on some phenomenal information. I don't even want to get into what he done been through. I'm going to let him tell his own story. But we all have something in the hood that we need to heal from. So real quick, before I turn it over to Mr. Mark Clements, I want to ask, What do you need a healing from? Chantel, your healing, what is
My
your
healing
healing?
is trying to figure out why can I own this building and this man is steady renting it out.
And then that's a concept that goes across the board. Mr. Jamal Ingram, how can we heal? What do you need? What would you like?
Unity.
Got any personal things we need to help heal with you, Mom?
Not right now.
All right. Although you are an artist, so we need to heal, getting that music out there, making sure he #1, y'all.
Dig that.
He just didn't say it. And that's why I message with him, because he is really humble, and he will root for another person before he root for himself.
Yes,
Mr. Brandon
always
Long.
bigger than self.
Dig that. And we need in St. Louis, we need healing from death, violence, specifically gun violence, murder. Every day we wake up, every day everybody that's sitting in this room wakes up, everybody that's watching these lives and on these podcasts, every day we wake up, we finding out about somebody new that we grew up with, a family member, somebody we close to that's dead, that was killed, that was murdered. It was senseless once you find out the reasoning behind it, you know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, I got time to get more into that later in the show, but then also we definitely need healing from, you know, these brothers and these sisters that are A, wrongfully incarcerated, or B, you know, the penitentiaries and the systems, you know, they dropping the ball completely, and brothers and sisters are dying due to corona, and they can't get visits, and you won't let them out, and you won't let them use the phone, you won't let them get mail, you won't let them get JPay, you won't let them get commissary, you won't let them go to the yard, you won't let them go take a shower. You know what I mean? We need healing from all of that, and we need healing that maybe this new presidential administration that, you know what I'm saying, he'll get a little bit more active with the penitentiary system and the justice system in itself and as a whole.
Wow. And I'm talking, that was so powerful. Ms. Zalonda from North Carolina, how can we heal in North Carolina?
Yes, yes.
Hello. North Carolina have a lot of different issues. I'm an interdisciplinarian, so I'm involved in a lot of different disciplines that's going on. A lot of different social issues. I advocate for housing rights for the homeless people. I advocate as well for the criminal justice system to be changed. So one of the things that I've been working on with this week, I'm also a part of a group called Guilford for All, and I'm trying to lobby a housing team where we can monitor and hold accountable the people that are having buildings and not taking care of them, and people are getting hurt as a result. A couple of years ago here in Guilford County, 5 little girls died from a house fire. The father of the 5 little girls was literally at the complaint office when the fire actually happened. And he was a single dad of 5 girls, and those 5 girls perished in the fire. He was also a refugee, and the community of the refugee community is often overlooked to get housing assistance as well.
He lost all 5 of his daughters.
He lost all 5 of his children. Yes, all 5 of his little girls. And no one is doing anything about it.
Yeah,
No one is caring. And the issue that I am trying to raise awareness about is a lot of these people, these landlords are actually city representatives. Yeah. My last place that I lived in, the pipes busted, the sewage came in the house, everything that was supposed to be nailed to something was coming apart, and the person that was the landlord over my property was is the city planning director for Greensboro.
Oh wow.
Right.
And I just want to say real quick, that's how Ryla Renters got started, because kids died in a trailer fire. That's exactly how Ryla Renters got started. I mean, I went through some personal things, but IVFs. Yeah, she lost her kids, and Dominic was burned over 80% of his body. It will make you start an organization when you hear something like that.
It's crazy.
the issue here is this being a Republican state, the fact that in every area of government, real estate agents are running for office. That's an issue as well. We just had here in Greensboro, we just got a new county commissioners board, and that is Democratic now. And the last one was Republican. I think they just got out last week. They were refusing to even get any money from the United States government because they looked at it as Democratic money and was refusing to take it for the county.
And you look beautiful, ma'am. You just had a brain surgery. You look very beautiful in those pearls, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to kick it to Trish real quick, and we are going to come back to you. Miss
Okay.
Trisha, what will heal your community?
My community?
Whatever you feel needs to be healed, baby.
Oh, let's see. I didn't know I was gonna be speaking again. Hold on. Oh my God. I'm all for spiritual healing. Not just my community. The whole world is my community. So I feel we all need to heal spiritually because we are spirits before we are even human. So a lot of us are embodied with all kinds of stuff. So yeah, spiritual healing for the whole world, which is my community. So.
And Chris Collins, what will heal you out in Illinois?
Actually, I want to bring awareness to every community because we all need to be aware of human trafficking. And this is Human Trafficking Month. It hasn't been brought up, so I want to do that. And by implementing programs like mine that anybody can be part of, we can actually keep track of our kids, keep track of our people, because they're with someone. They're not alone. They're not feeling helpless and hopeless. And that's what I want healed. I want people's souls to come on fire with a water that water will never put out. So, you know, let's think about others before me, and that's the main thing I'm wanting to be healed. I want people to stop worrying about disappearing, people dying, the gun violence. You know, I got a Guns for Screw Guns campaign. You bring me a gun, I'll give you a screw gun, but I'll also give you something that'll save a life, not take one. And it'll save yours. So people just need to reach into their soul, realize one thing: who are you when no one's around? And that's when the healing will begin.
And we just had a young lady come into the studio. Introduce yourself. Come up to the microphone.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
So introduce yourself, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm kind of like on the spot here. Hi, I'm Rhoda, everyone, and nothing special, just from here in St. Louis.
A local who cares about housing.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Sounds good. And so we're going to kick it over to Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark Clements.
Hello, sister. Hello.
Please share with the audience who you are and why you are my featured guest.
Well, my name is Mark Clements, and back in June of 1981, unfortunately, I was taken down to a police station, and I was tortured in my genitals and testicles to confess to a arson fire in which 4 people lost their lives. I was housed at the police station in Communicado. That means without any access to a phone, to my parents, or to anyone that was in my best interest. As a juvenile, I was tried as an adult. Little was made mention about the fact of being taken down to the police station and subject to acts of having my genitals and testicles grabbed and squeezed and beat in my body area. And, you know, having two public defenders, being an African American, extremely poor, one with 1 year of experience, the other one with a year and a half of experience. It was a slam dunk for the prosecutors, only having a confession, not even a witness. But I was found guilty off of a confession and 2 pop bottles that prosecutors had alleged had my fingerprints that tied me to this crime. Well, literally, being someone entering inside of our prison system, uneducated, and just basically caught into a sticky situation. And when I say sticky situation, I was sentenced to 4 counts of natural life without all possibility of parole, plus 30 years. And just looking at the reality of just how easy it was for me to end up inside of someone's prison, knowing clearly that I was innocent of the crime, but watching a criminal justice system that really did not care. A criminal justice system that acted as thugs, a criminal justice system that brought more damage to the Black and brown community, because what it was doing was it was hiding the fact of a Caucasian police officer by the name of John Burge, who was rounding up African Americans through a squad that was under his command, which was called the Midnight Crew. And they would take individuals to police stations and in some instances insert cattle prongs in the rectum of men, slamming pregnant women up against the wall inside of police stations. Its most common effect, denying children all access to their parents, and just basically getting away with these acts of torture based off based upon the theory of prosecutors that men and women were only making these claims to try to get from up underneath the seriousness of their crimes. And that turned out to be one of the greatest stereotype disrespects to African American people. However, we as a people, we have not let this sink in to the point of outrage, to the point of what I would say African American people who are in the belly of the beast must rise up and to take over any voice, any type of way for remedy. And we have not done so. We have allowed other races to, I'm not going to say to exploit, because I know a lot of people out here that means a lot of good, but it has opened the door for people to be exploited by the criminal justice system. Having only thing I had in my life was a 45-year-old daughter and a older mother. That older mother, she fought for me day and night, day and night, day and night, linking on with other particular organizations. And once I began to learn how to read and write, then I could participate in my own defense. And therefore, just looking at the magnitudes of the evidence against me, it didn't make common sense, all the way up until a Halloween day of 2017. in which I was being interviewed by Bernadine Doran, who was the wife of William Ayers. William Ayers is the professor that taught Barack Obama in school. Well, his wife, Bernadine Doran, was able to go to one of the largest corporate law firms, not even a criminal law firm. And the corporate law firm took this case, and one of its first missions was to DNA the two bottles. And once it was DNA'd, it was just determined that the fingerprints belonged to the police. And not only did the fingerprints belong to the police, but they had removed a box cutter from me. I was a paper boy. So, you know, paper boys keep the box cutters to cut these bundles of papers. Well, they had stated that I had stabbed one of the individuals inside of this apartment. And they allegedly stated that this box cutter had blood on it. Well, it never had blood on it. And these are the tricks that our criminal justice system plays in locking up African Americans that are poor, that are naive, and people that have just literally, what they say, sitting on a log and waiting their turn, so to speak, rather than speaking before it affects them. Well, in totality, spending 28 years inside of a prison, matter of fact, 28 years and 155 days, I was freed from the Illinois Department of Corrections, and being freed and having the conviction and sentence overturned and just returning back to society. You know, I feel like Khalif Browder out of New York. I can't identify. This is a toxic society. This is a society that in reality, I can't identify with. I can identify with the 60s. I can identify with the 70s, but they stole my identity and they made any growth or history of learning about society, they turned that into a security breach behind our prisons, denying brothers and sisters at least books so that they can educate themselves, you know, cutting off certain PBS stations so that people can learn about the history or the growth. People that are locked up are completely 100% naive. But in totality and in ending, I thank God for my mother, who is now deceased, because if it was not for what my little old mother did, then opportunities would have never even developed for me. I would have been an African American that would have been stuck behind the prison system with the criminal justice system, basically stating that, well, guess what? He's guilty, while they left the real criminals in society to reoffend and to reoffend until they were killed. And not only until they were killed, until the other two were so old, they were in nursing facilities, basically suffering from drug abuse behavior. So that is the story of Mark Clements. And, you know, the story didn't just stop there, because leaving out of prison, I was not satisfied. And I'm still not satisfied, because you mean to tell me that we can lock up so many people for decades and decades of child abuse, but we cannot investigate police officers for child abuse? That doesn't make common sense. And if it was their children, and when I say their children, meaning the powers that be children, if it was their children, you better believe that the departments that investigate child abuse would have stepped in and would have brought charges against the police officers. The sad reality is that no police officer could ever be held accountable, because the statute of limitations had expired on the charge of torture. So that allowed the police officers to get away scot-free. The city of Chicago to deny the fact for more than 43 years that tortures never occurred, and then coming out of us just out of the sky blue and saying, yes, tortures did occur, and they occurred to these people, but you still got over 100 of the people still locked up inside of our prison. So if that makes common sense, then hey, that sounds like slavery to me.
Now, what you said, you hit on a lot of points, and actually I'm going to turn it over to the panel because I know some people got something to say, some thoughts, something. I just want to touch on 3 things. Number one, I like the fact that you said there's no outrage, and I agree with you. We listen to so many things and we just take it. We don't even get upset anymore. And that's one of our problems, because now we're just learning to deal with it instead of actually standing up, like he just said, and literally being outraged. So they have literally dwindled our feelings down to basically nothing because it's so common. That's number one. And the second thing I just want to bring up is the fact that you talked about you got charged while you were working. You had the box cutter because you delivered newspapers. And I bring that point up because so many people that I represent in the cases that draw me, I'm usually drawn to people who were literally trying to better themselves and got swept up and it flipped around, and now they charged with a crime or a case.
Well, that's what they do though. That's and even in my personal experience, when I got locked up, I was probably I wasn't even a full year in. I was like 9 months in. So I go to my unit team, my casework, and I'm like, hey, there's this Thinking for a Change class, cognitive thinking class. I want to take this class. She said, why you want to take this class? I say, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, who don't want to alter their, you know what I'm saying? Alter their thinking and better their thinking. And she went and talked to her higher ups, and the decision came back that, quote, I had too much time left remaining on my sentence to take a cognitive thinking class that would help me better my thinking, curb, impulsive thoughts, and become less problematic for you as an administration. So that led me to the details and the fact and the assumption that y'all don't want us to get better for real. Y'all don't want us to get smarter. You don't want us to get better. You don't want us to learn nothing. You don't want us to get an education. You don't want us to be better fathers. You don't want us to be better men. And quite frankly, you don't want us to be heterosexual men. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it all the way a buck because they promote homosexuality in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, please tell them how. Please tell these young bucks how.
I'm gonna keep it all the way 100.
Please do.
I'm gonna keep at Lansing Penitentiary in the state of Kansas, where I spent the majority of my bid. We had motherfuckers in there that the administration would allow to order panties and makeup and bras because they identified as a female. You know what I'm saying? But then somebody like me, I used to be this dude named Fingers, and those and people that's on my live, they know Fingers. Fingers was a lieutenant. I used to get designs all the time cutting my hair, you know what I'm saying, just because, I was kind of known in the penitentiary a little bit for the music and, whatever and all that kind of stuff. And shit, this nigga got on blue and I got on blue. I want to do something to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't the same. I ain't no average dude. So Fingers used to always get on me all the time about getting designs cut in my head. So I'm at the barbershop on a regular basis, getting a design cut in my head. It's not no gang signs. It's like music notes or something like that. But y'all ain't saying nothing to the homosexual that's ordering makeup and panties and bras, and y'all bending over backwards for them. And the sex offenders, y'all bend over backwards for them. This is what y'all want in the society. You want these sex offenders out here. That's why these sex offenders get slaps on the wrist. I'm sitting there about to go down. My first plea was 38 years. I'm about to go down. First offense, nobody was physically harmed on 2 counts of ag robbery and 1 count of kidnapping. And I'm looking at 40 years out the gate. But I'm sitting right next to the sex offender who was already on probation, reoffended by sodomizing a little boy in an abandoned apartment, and they still talking about reinstating another phase of his probation. They want this stuff in society, and they want everybody of all colors to fall victim to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, specifically us and our people, once you go into the penitentiary, they're going to give you a receiving and diagnostics unit test. They're going to test your education level and all of that. And once they get some kind of hint that you have little or no education, they gonna try to make it look good. Oh, we're gonna put you in this program. But for real, they know that you the one that's gonna keep their job secure and keep their son's job secure, keep their daughter's job secure, because you a dummy to them. And no, we not finna help you get smarter, because then I'm not finna have a job. They not gonna need me. Then my daughter's not gonna have a job. We don't want you to get better. We want you to go out here and rape, rob, pillage, and murder so you can come back. And no, we not finna give you no programs to better yourself. And so what if you get hurt? We gonna say that you faking and here's a Tylenol. Go back to your cell. They don't care about. They say, oh, you done got me. Ooh, you done got me going.
I want to go ahead and answer the question as well. I want to make a comment on it as well. You triggered me with your story because
I'm pretty sure he triggered a lot of people.
Yeah, you triggered me hard because the same thing happened to me, just in the civil side, not the criminal side. I've been on this show and I've told people before that my kids were taken from me in 2016 to 2018. The state took my kids for 2 years. But how that case started was I was in the hospital at the women's hospital. I went to the hospital because I was taking a final. I was going to Winston-Salem State at the time. I've since graduated, but I was a senior or a junior at that time taking a finals, and I was pregnant. I was probably 8 to 9 months pregnant at that time, and I stopped feeling my baby move. So I called the ambulance, went to the hospital, and a month before I had went to the hospital, I ended up putting 2 complaints on a doctor who told me that they felt like I was smoking marijuana during pregnancy. And I ended up going to go get a second opinion, but they told me that this is what I said to them. I had no other choice but to go to the same hospital where these doctors work. Due to the emergency of the situation, they did a Doppler on my stomach. Baby had a strong heartbeat. He was okay. And I already had a plan with another hospital to do a C-section about a week later. So I waited until observation was done and requested to be discharged after I realized that my baby was okay. They took custody of me. They put me in a mental hospital and forced me to give labor, gave me Pitocin and put me in labor with my 3rd child, and started a DSS case based on mental illness. So your story just triggered me, because my DSS case, I've said before, it's been completely reversed and dismissed, but the effects of it's still here years later, and even after getting my kids back, just the fact of a hospital was able to take custody of me as an adult who was going to college full time, always in control of my person, and for the big cover up of it, and realizing that I'm not the only one that's going through this, but I have the responsibility to bring this to light, which will probably expose everything about me, and just to get this out, just to get this scheme outed, because it's not just happening to me, it's happening to other people, and their stories could be worse. You know, I very easily could have died during that situation. A nurse was giving me medication without logging it into the system. I to this day don't know what that medication was. So and it's a big cover up about the situation. And you know, even though my case was reversed and dismissed, the North Carolina Court of Appeals made a holding that said that they believed that Department of Social Services had a right to be in my DSS case, because it was the hospital that made the claim. and the hospital has favor with the state that they are doing what's right for the people. So I have to overcome that, which I found out how. But I have to overcome that. So yeah, your case triggered me. So it's happening on the civil side as well, not just criminal.
Let me say one thing to you, sister. You know what we don't take time to do? We don't take time to reflect upon the traumas that are affecting us as a people. And let me tell you, trauma is tricky. And trauma is really the real reason as to the violence that we see out in the street. It's the real reason as to why just the strange things is occurring in this world. And a lot of people don't want to look at the fact that once you are born, if you're born and all you see is violence,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to occur?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I also want to make one more point.
hold on one second, Zalonda. 1 second. We got somebody else that walked in. We didn't get Mr. Trey Ball on the beat. His introduction.
Slam wham.
Slam wham. Don't join us all the way from the county into the inner city. Definitely give your introduction and tell everybody what you do. Besides sit out there looking mysterious. And nice glasses.
Thank you. Producer engineering, trying to get my production company off the ground. Just produced a whole album for Jamil, my brother right here. Slick Sound Records. Got a lot of projects in the making. Just trying to stay above ground, keep my head above water, stay focused.
And anything you hearing today, because you slid in a little.
Yeah,
but
I'm hearing about what they talking about. You know, it got my attention pretty hard. You know.
when you making beats and producing for people, does this come out in music? Is this a comment?
It comes out all the time in my music. You know, that's how I express myself through the music.
So I would just ask, out of 10 artists, how many out of 10, how many you think has the same theme or passion to try to articulate what they went through in their music?
You mean names?
No, just out of 10 people, how many you think has this type of passion?
I say at least half of the 10 that I probably didn't work with or whatever got that passion. Because I ain't going to work with it if it ain't, you know what I'm saying, consistently, if it ain't like that.
So everyone have a story about something like a principle of what Mark Clemens has went through.
Oh, yeah.
A principle.
Oh, yeah, I'm going through it now. Shit. On the civil side. On the civil side.
I'm going through it on the civil side with my landlord, so I get it.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, I didn't
My
remember.
baby had tramadol found in his system, and the police officer did that part.
Yeah, I done been falsely incarcerated for something I didn't do, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Well,
I mean, so see the theme, right?
I got accused for cashing a check that I never cashed. I got called the police on trying to cash my paycheck and told me it was fraudulent. I got a whole felony case after that. Got extradited from Las Vegas, Nevada, like I was a real criminal. Walked through the airport with like I was literally a real criminal.
And you know what? And that made me think about something. And I want to put some details out there real quick, because there's a lot of people that'll listen, that'll be like, you know, they still want to play the other side of the fence and turn a blind eye like this stuff don't exist. And they gonna say something like, oh, well, they let you go. You know, they dropped the charges. But what you're failing to forget is all of the time, the energy exerted, you having to go to court, your people having to go to court, the days from work that you missing, the time from your kids that you missing, your husband, your wife, whatever the case may be. Yeah, they let you off, and no, they didn't put them charges on your record. But you still had to spend money for an attorney to fight it. Yep. You still had to go through the mental strain to fight it, the PTSD, the emotional strain, the physical stress on your body. So it's still more to it just because, oh, they didn't charge you and they let you off. It's still more to it. There's still a trauma that is now going to exist forever and always.
Whether they know it or not, being told that, oh, it's going to be all right, I'm sorry. Or, you know, that's all I got told. And I got put in the pen for something I didn't do.
Missouri don't pay.
Oh, they ain't going to give you your money back. You got to fight it. You got to fight it until you almost broke.
Oh well, how about this? The people, the U.S. Marshals that came and got me, told me I didn't have a restitution, so because I didn't commit a crime, but I had to pay for them to go kick it for a few days on my expense because that was my restitution. I had to pay them back in 30 days. My airline ticket, because you put me on a 747 to bring me home from Las Vegas, Nevada after a KP is sworn on me for something I didn't do but try to cash my paycheck. Yeah. But okay, I got a felony charge. I had to walk down for 9 years. I mean, I had all this time I had to walk down for what? And I was poor and black, and you couldn't even give me a public defender because why? I had an income of over $600 a month. So I didn't qualify for no lawyer. So I had to find a lawyer outside the courtroom, and this man decided to one day extort me. So all the stuff that I didn't know.
And what was the cap? $599?
Oh no, 500 even. I was $100 over in income rate for my son's disability. So that ain't even considered income, but it was considered income because why? It was government assisted money that was given to me, and it was $100 over their limit, so I couldn't get legal representation. Man. Oh, and I'm a female.
Talk about how they do things to us. Oh. Like they put a
hold on, Miss Yolanda,
charge on me for over a year.
Hold on, Miss Yolanda. Hold on, Miss Yolanda. Mark, what was you saying?
One thing I wanted to just bring to the whole panel, because I noticed the brothers are younger. Imagine if I was a bogus cop right now, and right now this is what you see. Now imagine not coming back to this platform and around these people for 28 years of your life. Now take a kid and do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like locking them inside of a closet. And as the brother was speaking about his experience, he was speaking about the fact that you are actually considered to be a troublemaker because you want to learn.
Correct.
Behind a prison wall. And now we're looking at the laws, housing laws, okay? We're looking at lack of jobs. It's only designed realistically for the brothers and sisters that commit these crimes to return back to prison, because if you don't have a way to support yourself, then come on, let's face reality. You're going to end up back in prison. And I want to make this mention too, that it's a shame in America anytime we get someone that we label as a African American to take office, but he didn't use executive power to correct some of these systemic conditions behind our prisons. It's not like Barack Obama didn't know. Barack Obama, his inner circle were people that fought around these particular issues. When he went to the White House, dude shut his ears on a lot of things. The sad reality is when Trump came into office, want me to tell you, like dude, hate dude, ready to kick him off the cliff. The key of it is he signed all of his campaign promises in executive order. And so far, we haven't gotten a president or a leader that has been willing to do this, to bail us out and make us equal. So let me tell you, while a lot of people put these people on pedestals, I don't put them on a pedestal because they kicked us to the curb to be dogs. Do you realize that over 43 of these men that I'm mentioning, Chicago police torture, come from Barack Obama's own district out of the city of Chicago, and dude didn't make one mention, and he just totally made a jackass out of black folks by delegating the Department of Justice to do something that he could have done in the Mike Brown case.
You know what, sir? I'm Illinois, And I have a personal experience with Barack Obama and with Trump, and both of them
Bring it back.
did what they could do to not let you know that you can have a way for a sustainable way of life when you come out of prison. And every person's set up 95% to go back. If you don't have a good family support system, you are set up to go back to the prison. These are privately owned situations because they pay to have it set up that way. And it is time for everybody to realize we can all be part of something that will change our children's future. And if we don't make that move and go for this in every way, I only ask for 2 hours out of the next year, not 2 hours a day. I'm asking every person to put in 2 hours this year. By the end of 2021, we will have $20 an hour jobs across the nation, and people will have homes that they will not burn up in. Houses don't burn, don't absorb water. They're stronger, termite-free, mold-resistant, recyclable. Build them without a dumpster. Build them cheaper than wood, and get a 60% discount on insurance versus a wooden home. And I can take it back apart and move it and build something else out of it. And we can teach our children how to recover and rebuild every natural disaster as we dig for life for the jobless. I have a letter that was wrote to President Obama by a congressman in my area, and this congressman was actually resigned, and he ran unopposed. I mean, this guy was a good congressman, and because he made a stand and what was said in that letter, there was some major things that happened to try to deter me from continuing on, but it didn't, because now I'm a 501c3 that can partner with anybody I want with a non-governmental organization. So I wanted to partner with everybody so we can't fail. And you have something you didn't have to necessarily work for, but the knowledge that you share with others now will change every community in the country and change every person's life that's in prison right now, because every one of them have a family member that's going through something. And all we got to do is reach them, and we all do one common goal, and that's to get our people off the street, on their feet, and create a sustainable way of life, and give our children a legacy to live on forever, and eliminate this national debt that we are just occurring and our children are inheriting. It's time to change this, and we can change it, and we are changing it. But the more you share what is going on with this movement, I want people to change their mindset of not talking of one race and what has happened. Let's talk about all races being equal. And equality means it doesn't matter where you come from before, it's where you're going to be in the future. And when we talk about tomorrow and know that we can't repeat yesterday, this will be the mindset when we deal with our children that are pure love. If we're not arguing about getting thrown out of our house because we can't afford the rent, we know we can afford the rent. I need you to come and show me 3 hours a day. I'll give you a $20 bill and a home to live in. So you can't tell me that you can't continue to get your life moving forward if you have an opportunity that you don't know you have. I've been doing this for 15 years. In 2005, I built a home right where the eye came across for Hurricane Katrina. I built it in Bloomington, Illinois, put it on trailers, and shipped it down. When we stood it up, it's 10 feet off the ground, right on the water, and it saves $11,000 a year in insurance versus the wooden home sitting next to it. Now, I don't even pay $11,000 a year for all my expenses to live where I live. And to imagine that this doctor does just in insurance. Well, if you can afford to have a beach house, you can afford to pay to have that thing insured to be there. Well, mine gets a 60% because it won't burn, won't absorb water, and it's strong. So when you got a wind, fire, and water, plus it's termite free, there's so many added advantages. Now, in 2011, I built a home in the middle of the woods with cordless screw guns using 5 guys that never touched material before in their life. And we built a home, 1,800 square feet, 9-foot ceilings, and without a dumpster. And it was deemed by every inspector in town to be the best built home in the city. And I want you to know that it has no solar, no geothermal, but what it did do is it gave a way to give the jobless jobs and the homeless homes. So it wasn't just giving the homeless people homes, it was giving the unemployment a relief. And if we can eliminate that, what else can we do? Anything. Because everything's possible when you look at the palm of your hand and notice that you're pink. If you're nothing, and if you show me the palm of your hand, you can help me. I can help you. But if you don't, you're showing me a story that I can't open the book because you're not being open to me.
And speaking of books, I'm glad that you brought up books, because many of our lives is in somebody's book that has written a story about our lives that we ain't even the author of, and they just keep writing it in a book, and it just keeps going in this book. And that's what this project is all about. I'm doing a project called The Color of Law, and so we're talking about how do we get to where we need to be to get healing in the hood. So we have Miss Davis here. She rented a slumlord, or rented from a slumlord. So we're talking about housing. I know right now we need to do a challenge that says the space heater challenge.
The space heater challenge.
How many people's out there living with space heaters?
I know I'll be the first one on that list.
I don't know. Check with people. Anyway.
So we got sidebars right here when I say the space heater challenge.
Generator challenge too.
Generators, space heaters. Because there's not even heating in a lot of these properties, but every 30 days they want their rent money.
They rent, yeah.
Don't even have adequate heat. So these are the things, once again, that we just learn how to deal. Because like Mark said, where do we go? Because the people that we believe that are on these pedestals, they did know about this, and they did nothing. So if we keep turning over to, I'm going to go get this lawyer, I'm going to go get this council member, I'm going to go get yourself some knowledge and get grounded so we can begin to help ourselves. Chantel got a case. Miss McGee got a case. I'm sure multiple people got different cases that need to be addressed. And we ain't going to get nowhere until we respect the fact of what they're going through. So the first step is, do we even believe them? Because everybody gets to yip-yapping. It don't mean I believe you. It don't mean I want to help you. So really the reality is starting off, do I believe you? And I believe everybody here on this panel. Asked me that last week's conversation, not so well. Okay? This panel, I believe everybody of what they said is true. So, Mr. Clemens.
Yes.
Please tell everyone what you are doing right now with the Chicago torture, because that's a big thing.
Well, Chicago Torture Justice Center in the city of Chicago, I am working as a organizer, as a court monitor, as a individual that is basically, it's like families. And when families have been wounded and they're dealing with wrongful convictions, where do they honestly go? Who helps them? Who kind of like talks them through the situation? And that is what, just a little fraction of the work of what we do. We provide also psychological treatment to individuals that have suffered as the result of police crimes. So, you know, a lot of people, they look at the fact of torture and they would say, it's not a police crime. You better believe it is a police crime. You better believe that effects come out of that, and the effects are mind-blowing. We're talking about complex trauma. Complex trauma can be sneaky weaky. That's the person who shines today, and then tomorrow, it's like The Shining. And we have many people like that in our communities because they have been wounded, they can't get help, and no one actually gives a damn about them in their situations. You know, this is a country where that the fight has fallen upon the female. I would like to say that the fight is even with the male, but when we tell you, go to a prison and go visit people in prisons, you're going to see that it's packed with who? Females all through the prisons. Now go to a female facility, the prison ain't so packed unless it's the weekend. So I think that us as brothers, we're going to have to step up the game in leadership, because in reality, all across this globe, from the Black Life Matters movement to BYP 100 movement and various other movements across this nation, what we're seeing is the rise of African American sisters that are taking on fights that are really designed for the male, but many of our brothers are locked up behind the prison walls. And then when many of them get out of the prison walls, they completely abandon their fight. And we need identity to the issues that we're dealing with. We don't just need individuals to come along and say, well, guess what? That happened to me too. Fight for justice. We're still in slavery. And one little quick thing that I would like to make relevant to Brother Chris's comment. Brother Chris, I wish we could be treated equal, but it's the powers that be that created this system that they don't want us to be equal. You know, if you go to any prison, what you're going to notice is black and brown faces. Mm-hmm. Now, when you examine those cases, you're going to see that in some instances, those brothers was just told to shut up, sit down, and while the attorneys did their thing in the courtroom, and now little Timmy ends up inside of a prison serving 50 to the rest of his life, locked up inside of a prison. Another way and reality issue as to why we can be treated, we're the only race that has been victimized. I'm talking about intentionally victimized by a system of white supremacists. And the bottom line of it is we haven't received any compensation. They told us to make it work. So now you look at the poverty in the city of Chicago, St. Louis, in Baltimore, Maryland, and Washington, and you see that poverty even in Nevada. When we tell you, a lot of that is due to the fact that when things break down in their communities, it's not fixed. It's never fixed. And they just allow it
because
to.
They're not implemented.
So we have to change as a people.
I want to bring in Zalonda real quick. Zalonda.
Yes, ma'am.
You were working on a Key Tam case. I had spoke about Key Tam on this show, and she actually followed up with the Key Tam. Explain to people, where did you have to go to file the Key Tam?
I have to go to the state attorney general to file my Key Tam. I spoke with them yesterday, and they listened to my story. The lady that I spoke with, she was so nice and very honest, and she said, you know what we normally do? We keep a case like this for 5 years, is what the government is allowed to do, and then we say we're not going to step in. And usually the statute of limitations and the weight of the case usually circumvents you from being able to do anything. I was shocked. I was quite shocked that the same people that I have to send the case to is actually the same people that will be representing the people I'm going against.
All right, I'm gonna pause you right
So-
there. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring you back. Did y'all just hear what she said?
It's called a conflict of interest.
It's always a conflict of interest. So even in consumers, we're supposed to go to the Attorney General's office. Josh Hawley, our senator, just did this big brouhaha about, you know, trying to overturn the election for Trump. That's who tenants would have went to go seek help. Let that sink in. The system is written. Don't matter what state you in. The people that you have to go to get the help is literally the ones who would turn around and sue you. Understand the policy. That's the attack right there that needs to be addressed. Because if we change that writing or we created another entity, now we're not going back to the people that's literally going to prosecute. Do you understand? You're going to the people, telling them what the people did to you. And they're going to be the ones that's going to end up suing you. That's why we can't get anywhere.
I think the reason what I'm faced with right now is having to consider letting all my mental health business and all my physical business to be public in order to avoid the plan that the North Carolina General said that they had. So I'm probably just gonna have to let everybody see my medical and mental business so that this can be exposed.
What I'm getting at with this is, does everybody understand? So basically, if you find out who your district attorneys are and your attorney generals, that's who you put the pressure on. But that's for right now, because they're revolving. They change. So they spin out that office. They go into another office, carrying around all this knowledge of how all these people broke the systems, but they never do anything. So we got 2 black prosecutors, one in St. Louis City, St. Louis County. How many people are getting out of jail? How many cases are being reviewed? How many cases are being overturned? Because they have the power with the pen to undo many things, and they don't. So how many of you understand that when it's election time, and it is elections, the aldermen, you know, it's election time. This is where we can really put our thumb and put it in their backs for the people who are in office and the people who are running for office. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So if each of us actually went out to a candidate to see if a candidate is willing to learn a case, I will ride with that candidate. But if that candidate ain't willing to learn anything about y'all, why would I want to ride with that candidate?
But of course, that candidate is also going to say, oh, yeah, send me the information and get with my secretary. We're going to look, you know, and as soon as you turn your back, man, fuck this motherfucker. I ain't looking at this shit. I'm trying to win this election.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's
correct.
I was in a conversation the other day with both of your mayoral candidates there in St. Louis. And I actually heard what they had to say about the problems that was being brought to their attention. And it was a Q&A, you know, and it was all the organizations that are helping all the people with paying bills and doing whatever. And they said they are willing to change laws, policies, and step out of the way so that the solutions and the NGO could step in and do their job and fix it. They can't fix it when they keep running into barriers that the city stops. And even if they're trying to help out the people that are already in tents. They were a tenant at one point, but then they got squashed like an ant, and now they're in a tent. And they're getting rid of them. And we went and visited one, and ABC News that night turns around and says they are throwing them out because they say the tents are unsanitary and ugly. And I offered to bring 100 homes and set the material there in 3 days. I've tried for the past week and a half, and I've got no response from the organizations that asked for the 100 houses.
Who has a great
Now,
car that's parked in front of
this is real life stuff that's happening right now today, along with every one of these other cases. The difference is we all have to do one thing. We have to work for one common goal, and that's to get all these laws changed, because we are the lawmakers. If we, the people, make all those laws, but if we just sit back and let these people that we elect do what they want to do, then we are the ones that are ignorant of what our constitutional rights are as a government people. And if you want to go to any senator, any congressman, any House representative, anyone voted into office, if they are not doing what you, the people, as a collaborative are wanting done, you can fire them. You do not have to vote them out. And we, the people, stand as one in equality. We can change every policy. And that goes for our prison systems. I had to learn all this stuff as I become a 501c3. But once I become an NGO, the government can't tell me who I can partner with. And we together are coming as a non-governmental organization with just suggestions the way we want our government to be. And we stop letting our elected officials that are doing nothing but taking care of themselves, getting rich if they're not already rich, and not taking care of the individual situation, because every situation is different. And it is time for us to stand up for tenants rights matter, tenants lives matter, our lives matter, and we are in charge. Do we take charge, or do we sit back and do nothing about the conversation we're having right now? It should be a total move forward, getting these cases to those mayoral people and see what they say, because I know they were willing to step back out of the way and actually let the people in these organizations do the solutions that they want to do.
I just want to say real quick, and I love you, Chris, and so I love your positivity, and I love how you've come in here. And so dealing with some of these people, one of them, Tashara Jones, for example, I just throw out there, you know, she deals with parking. There's a lot of glitches in parking. A lot of people have had their cars taken from parking.
Boots,
all sorts of things from parking. And it's a very flawed system. There was a court case, and I'll be real quick, where a lady named Amy, can't think of her last name, she got a ticket off a meter. Guess what? Amy's case her ticket was taken care of, totally dismissed. But I'm downtown watching people's tickets not get dismissed. Matter of fact, I'm at the parking ticket agency where they won't take my written response, because you're only supposed to send it written in the mail. So you got to read the back of the ticket. So why would there be a distinction whether you bring it in person or you send it in the mail? The process should still be the same.
Because it all, in my head, it all kind of coincides with a little bit what I was saying earlier. Like, the same way the penitentiary works, they don't want you to progress, they don't want you to grow. Society, that's why something of that magnitude, that type of information is in small print on the back of the ticket, and it's not prominently displayed on the front like it should be, because they don't want you to take care of the ticket for real. They want the money. They don't want you to contact them for real. They don't want to hear from us. That's why it's in small print. So a lot of that too, though, is, and Mr. Clemens was talking about it, you know, like, I'm not gonna get into the political aspect of what Trump did or Obama didn't, or vice versa, but I will say this: with my personal experiences, I saw a lot of dudes that once they hit the penitentiary, they got hooked on boys, they got hooked on drugs, they got hooked on sleeping medication, you know what I'm saying? And now they've opened up the door, if it wasn't already open, for a continuous cycle of recidivism. Now, me personally, I ain't him. I'm not finna go. I'm finna stand on this 10 years, and I'm finna, you know what I'm saying, I'm finna do what need to be done, however I need to do it, as long as it agrees with my morals and my character. But I had that drive to also know that even if these people ain't finna help me, I'm already a statistic. I'm not gonna be a continuing statistic by having the same issues that other people had when they got out. I just wasn't fit to do it. You have to have a certain grit and a certain grind about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, like when they say, what are you most scared of? I'm scared of dying. I'm never scared of dying. I'm scared of failure or being a bum in life. And I think that if a person is always scared of failure, or if a person is always scared of being nothing in life or becoming nothing in life, everything that you do from the time that you wake up is going to be geared towards progression. It's going to be geared towards betterment. It's going to be geared towards success. If I walk out and I'm just scared of dying, you know, I'm just finna kind of be lackadaisical about my day. But if I wake up every day and I'm scared to be a failure, every single thing I do and every single thing I touch, every single conversation I have, every piece of energy I receive or give back is going to be geared and predicated on not becoming a failure, because I got that grit and I got that grind. I don't give a damn about 8 years, 4 months, 2 weeks, and a day. It's over now. Now I'm out here in the free world and I got to do whatever needs to be done so I can progress and I don't go back in there. So a lot of that is on, even as a rapper, a lot of these artists I turned down because these little niggas, like all the shooting in the videos and all of that kind of shit. Little nigga, I done did that. I don't want no parts of that, and I'm still on parole. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to perpetuate none of that energy. And Mr. Clemens also spoke about it. What kids are seeing from the time they come up is violence and negativity. Well, me being as an artist, I have a voice. So if I have a voice, what you hear is my voice. So now I'm not finna contribute to putting that same stuff in your ear. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring something a little different. And I also want to be that artist to where the older folks, as soon as you hear rap and hip hop, oh, I don't want to hear that. Well, nah, this dude Ghost, he different. And the young dudes is rocking with him because he out rapping them. He ain't wearing no purses. His pants ain't sagging. He ain't doing none of that. He might want to. I mean, you still have a responsibility as A, an entertainer, B, as a citizen in the city, as a resident. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't live in this particular building, you still should care because, shit, motherfucker, at one point you lived in a building. You know what I'm saying? Like last night, I was at the store, and I got 2 carts. And somebody said, well, why you get 2 carts? Well, I'm not the only person that's going to end up needing a cart. Somebody else, it's going to get used. But what we do a lot of times is we wake up on the daily and we think about everything that we got going on. Because, of course, it's present time in the present situation. But everything that we have going on, it usually affects this brother here, that brother there, this sister here, you. So if we can adapt the mindset like Chris was saying, and we can adapt our mindset to a unity, I really don't think, even though with millions and thousands or however you want to, whatever number you want to put of different minded individuals, if we all look at it as what happens with you affects me, what happens with you affects her, what happens with her affects you, it's all a domino effect. If we can look at it this way, we don't have to focus on uniting. We just got to let nature take its, you know what I mean, just let nature take its course.
Now, what you said something prominent. You're not focusing on the violence. You're not focusing on the drug dealing. You're not focusing. But there's a lot of people who are, and they can't get off of that page. They whole lyrics, all they songs is about just all that, and it never stops.
But that's also that's another thing with society too. Society is allowing you to accept that.
And I got you.
And you know, and I'm finna keep it all the way funky. Artists that's out here listening, this is what the artists, when you go to these major labels, especially y'all artists that's out here in the streets all the time, the reason these labels mainly want to sign y'all is because they know you finna get killed. They finna sign you, finna give you a little bit of change and take out an insurance policy that's 3 times the size of whatever amount of money they gave you. And the moment you get killed, they cashing in on that insurance policy, and whatever money they done got from that insurance policy, it done far exceeded the money that you done made them from off your music and your craft. So me personally, I'm not necessarily religious, but I'm spiritual. I'm not finna put that energy out into my music, because that's usually what you put. The law of attraction guarantees what you put out is what's gonna come back to you. So if I got me and 20 of my partners in a video waving guns, and I always say this too, stop that shit, because that shit is cap. Ain't no director shooting y'all videos with all of them guns with live rounds in there. So we know it's cap, bro. Like, it's stupid to me. It's dumb. But nobody's gonna go for that. But I mean, you continuing to perpetuate a cycle, but like somebody has to stand up at some point on whatever platform they have and say, like, I ain't, and that's why I do what I do with the music. Like, I don't accept that shit these little dudes do.
And that's why I brought that up, because that's not being promoted out there as a uniform principle. And it really does need to be, because people really don't get it. I mean, if you haven't been taught, so it goes back to what this conversation was about. You was put in a box at a young age, or you did 30 years in a box. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the things that you were supposed to learn is gone. So you don't know. But for the people who are awake and aware, this is where I need them to stand up and stay committed. Because what you just said, there's phenomenal artists that come through the studio. But no, if all your music is about doping, drugging, shooting, I don't, that's not what I'm into. Like, you got to be able to change your perspective. So you're going to get mad if I don't push a light. No, I don't like the drugs, the crime. Right. That's all you got. I know you got something deeper, but bring it out.
But that's not the cool thing. That's not the cool thing. But that's why, and then that's another reason why I like I'm blessed with my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 37 and I'm one of the top 7 hottest artists in the city at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it goes, and I don't walk around with 5 and 6 big chains with my name on it and doing the picture with the money thing. Because number one, artists out there, that's silly too. Because truly wealthy people, they don't do that. You know what I mean? People that are truly ballers and people that are truly rich and wealthy, they don't take pictures with stacks of money. They don't have 15 chains on and all that kind of stuff, because their business is straight. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna have a different perspective and a different way to look at it and a different way they proceed about going through stuff. I'm not gonna put the energy out, but I do understand, as an artist and as an entertainer, there are moments where you have to entertain. If a certain artist who's on this level and he's on that type of music, like, rest in peace, if King Von were to have called me, and that would be something I'd have to pray on, because I know what he projects. But also, me personally, I did like him as an artist because he told stories. To me, he was more like a Raw Street kind of Slick Rick new age. You know what I'm saying? And I liked him for that. I didn't necessarily agree with what he put out, but that was also his life. And you can't expect somebody to agree or disagree with your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that man's life.
Well, you can tell the difference between somebody that's fabricating and somebody that's actually sitting in there just writing the shit because that's what they're hearing.
Yeah, that was his life. Yeah. That was his. So I have no opinion on how to, you know what I'm saying? Who am I to say how this man is living his life?
But we're talking about the projection. And if you want better, you got to do better. And you can't do the same thing. So if you're talking about moving forward and you still talking about how you were selling crack on the streets, I mean, yeah, you can mention it when you talk about how now you doing it the legal way. But if that's how you talking about how you sell crack on the street, I'm not understanding how you gonna get further to make it legal. Because you relishing in the fact that you sold crack on the street.
I tell my little homies, they be like, yeah. I'm like, what you doing, little bro? Be like, yeah, Ghost, I'm out here active. I'm out here spinning the block. I'm spinning the hood. I'm active out here. Like, why don't you go get active at this food drive we got coming up? Come get active at this toy drive. We got this back to school drive, haircut for kids. Come get active.
Volunteer your time.
Well, dang, goes, no, that's active, bro. When you talk about the definition of the word active, that is the epitome of it. So if you telling me that you out here getting active, I'm a literal thinker. Well, that's not active, bro. You out here just out here playing and killing and doing dumb stuff. Active is being out here, you know what I'm saying, getting active for the hood.
Going to court cases.
Being a contribution to it.
There it is. Adding to, not taking from.
Right.
So I want to say real quick, and then I'm going to turn it back over, and then I'm going to let everybody, we got 30 minutes left. This show goes so fast. People don't think 2 hours. Dang, you okay? When you get into it, it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said, I want to throw out here real quick. So, Brandon, I had already talked to Mark, and he's shaking his head because he's going to tell you, I've mentioned you to him, and I was like, yes, it's going to be a St. Louis artist, and he's tied into someone else in Kansas. Like, this is going to be phenomenal. And I've said that to you, to him, like, boom. So here it is live.
Yeah.
And I even sent Jamal a text message, like, talking about it. So, with that being said, we have a local case next Saturday. I would like to go out where this place is out in the county. Long story short, this is a real life court case, which I need to dig out. And I want to reenact that a white boy is being robbed by 3 young black men. The case has already been dismissed, but I want to reenact of how they said it happened. How you can see somebody while you getting robbed from the back. And so his case was dismissed, but he never got any relief. So for Mark and other people I know that they are receiving some type of compensation. Missouri don't pay. So this court case, to me and for me, it's here, so it's not mine. But I think it's very important for us to come together and literally act it out, word for word of what was written, so people can see what we're saying when we say people who write these, which it was a police officer, there was no credibility in this at all. How did a warrant get issued on this? Because that's really what people need to see and understand. That a lot of this is cuckoo. There's not enough facts, there's not enough evidence to even go to the next level, but it does. And so my goal is, whether we're here, North Carolina, and have Mr. Mark Clements, lead this, but I just do the cases. And so my goal is I want to be able to teach people how to receive people in your communities of a complaint that you may believe is true. But if you don't know how to go through the paperwork, you can't help them. And that's really the key. Most people don't know how to go through paperwork. So let Nerd Girl here, who's been charged, because my DOC is 102-9107.
100489.
Mark, you know yours still?
N23123.
You never forget it.
You never forget it. It becomes your social security number. So when I hear people have these type of conversations and nobody's ever been to jail or prison, I'm mad as hell. Because all y'all faking and you getting paid for all that knowledge. And you the one I'm going to see on Fox 2 News talking about how you going to bring prison reform.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. You don't have nothing to do with prison. You ain't never been there.
You can't be sitting at a bus stop telling me how to buy a car.
And sorry, I hardly ever. Whoops, that was a good one. Whoops.
I do wanna make a quick point, real quick, because you spoke on something like, and you were saying that there was really nothing they can do sometimes when things happen, as far as like statute of limitations may run up. With the limit now, this is limited legal knowledge that I have from fighting my own case on the civil, and it's doing pretty well. But if people are out there in that situation, don't necessarily give up already off the top. Because even if Missouri does not pay, you may be able to look into some kind of federal compensation, some kind of violation of rights, some kind of wrongful imprisonment. So when you're talking Missouri doesn't pay, always keep in mind that it's state and state level. There's always a federal level to the penitentiary system, no matter where you are. But if you're talking on a federal level, you got to be speaking, just investigate on your rights being violated, wrongful imprisonment, some kind of, they came in without warrants. Those are all violations of your rights. So look into that if you have been wrongfully incarcerated and you have not received any compensation.
So one of the things we want to do, we want to follow Mr. Mark Clements, because he's getting paid for being wrongfully incarcerated. And that's what I mean. We already have the cases and the models in front of us. We just got to be willing to understand how to go about it. He's already did it.
That's what's up.
You see what I mean? So
but one thing he had, I guarantee you, one thing that the brother had to do though, that follow through. He had to fight. He had to grit. He had to grind. He had to hustle. He had to learn. So yes, the system is set up for us to fail from jump, but we gotta have that grit and that resolve and that determination ourselves. To even when they say, you know what, I see that you motherfuckers ain't finna help me. All right, I'm finna get it out the mud. I'm finna figure out how to do it myself. That's where that song came from. Because with this rap shit, when I started, not one person knew my name. I reached out to every producer. Nobody wanted to help me. Cool. I'm gonna get it out the mud.
And I am gonna bring you back to do an exclusive interview like I've done Mark Clements.
Dig that.
I definitely want to. I definitely opened up the show with you, and I know that you are in touch with somebody else in Kansas who's doing something similar.
Yeah, shout out to my homeboy Lamont McIntyre, Miracle of Innocence, and Mr. Burton also. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Clements is shaking his head. He's probably very well. Lamont is a very, very good, close, personal friend of mine. We talk frequent. Very good brother, very good dude, close personal friend.
So that's what this panel is all about. This panel, to me, are our leaders, the people who sit here. Because not everybody can rock with me. You can rock with me and have these type of conversations. You own one. And that's just real. Not everybody's willing. I've had people cancel all day. Because when it comes time to have this conversation, I'm not going to let you come here and just BS your way through it. It's not going to work. So with that being said, we are the leaders, and it goes back to this court case. So we can blow it up. You know, on another show, they talked about how do we get around media. Once again, failure of the conversation. Damn, this is media. You're sitting right here in front of microphones. Your Facebook is media. So if you ain't got it in your head of how to do media, and you're literally doing media at that time, I really don't know how to go further with our conversation.
Well, if they need further details, if you need more specifics when you dealing with media, 9 times out of 10, the best way for you to get media involved, if you cannot and have not been able to, is numbers. You get other people involved. And at some point, the media has no choice but to key in on what you're doing, because there's too many other sets of numbers involved. So if you can't get a voice yourself, work on getting them numbers up, and them voices are going to speak for you, and the media going to come to you.
And we are media. But most times when you hear the word media, you think Fox 2 News.
Larger scale, yeah.
We are media, and that's where I'm trying to get people to. You sitting in front of a microphone right now.
Straight up with a voice.
With a voice. Your phone is reaching how many people? You are media. This is media. I bet if we tagged all of us together and actually lined it up, I guarantee you, if we did it succinctly, we could probably reach 2,000 people.
Oh, more than that.
More than that in an hour if it was done properly.
I got 5,000 friends.
So that's what I mean when I say we can have a huge impact and influence if we choose to.
For sure.
But if we only show up at 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I don't see you again until 9 o'clock next Saturday, I bet that ain't gonna work. But luckily, and I'm grateful to the people I work with, I was like Chantel said something, no, my people have been doing work. And I'm grateful to the teams that has come in here. A little glitch here and there, but for the most part, everybody has been growing this the way that they can and should. And I'm grateful for that. So my thing is, we can move forward. I'm just throwing out here some of the thoughts and principles that need to be tweaked. Like, we are media. We are the leaders. We are everything that we say we need. We are it.
Now that goes more into a mindset now.
Always about the mindset and the principle.
That's the thing about the human mind. We got freedom of choice. And we have to choose what life we want to continue to live. And we can all make a difference, but we have to share. Sharing is caring. If you're reaching, we are teaching. And these are the things that each of us need to do on every platform we have. Share everyone's stuff. Just share it. Get it out there, because if we're all trying to do the same thing, we can get everyone to understand they all are having something in that part bother them. There's something in their life that isn't right. Doesn't matter where they're at in life. There's somebody in their family that's needing help. But this is a way that we can give our children a whole different outlook, and it start going back to where it was safe to have you let your kids go do things when I was a kid.
When you were a kid, how long ago? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I'm almost 50. So, you know, it was different. We didn't have computers. We didn't have any of that. What we had was our imagination and the outdoors. And what that also done was it created what we have today. So let's continue that creation, but let's explore what we're not showing our children. Because we've got a generation that are having children that ain't never been outside. I mean, they just, you know, we've got a generation that's been outside, but they've been around, you know, a bad environment.
And with that being said, I want you to announce who you are. We're at the 11:40 mark. So that gives us 20 minutes, and really not 20, gives us 15, and then 5 minutes to play a song. So tell everyone who you are.
I am Chris Collins. I'm the founder of Housing Our People Everywhere. We are on Facebook. Our website is hopeforhousing.org. hopeforhousing.com, using the FOR. You can use the number 4 on the .org or the FOR. I couldn't get the number 4.com. but I can get you 3/4 of the way. So if you make a mistake, you're still gonna find the answer. The difference is your opinions matter. I need everybody to, reach out, give us where you're at, what's going on, where where can we now make a difference, and we can start because I got material in every community in this country right now.
Awesome. Zalonda Woods.
There for you.
Yes, I'm Zalonda Woods. I'm a social interdisciplinarian, housing advocate,
Brain surgery victory.
criminal justice reform. Yes. What did you say?
Brain surgery survivor.
And kick ass sister. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, just recently. I guess I came through that. So I believe in justice for everyone. So my company that I have is Black Tea of Hope here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I just want to make a point, though. It's going to be real short.
Go ahead.
To piggyback on what everyone said. A few years ago, I was given a scholarship to go to Africa to be in Kenya to research. And the research that I chose to do was I was trying to find out, why does America have all the spoils of America, but Kenyans are, I think at that time it was like number 2 or 3 on education. And I was trying to find the correlation between Kenyans and their high achieving scores and housing, and as opposed to America and the spoils that we have, but the lack of housing. And I found out through my research that song and dance is what brought them the high achieving scores that they have, that they put a lot of emphasis nationally into arts and music. And they don't look at things the way that we do, where it's individual here. They look at things as in community, where what affects you affects me too. And those correlations has created a difference in Kenya and America. We're taught here in America that Africans are living in huts and all of that. When I tell you that place have the most beautiful buildings and architecture, and the people there really have more money than we do, it was a culture shock.
I bet it was. Hold on, let me click into Miss Trisha Martin.
It's Mark Clements, Chicago Torture Justice Center in the city of Chicago. If people would like to get involved with the Chicago Torture Justice Center, they are welcome to give us a call at 773-962-0395. I can also be located on Facebook, which is Mark Clements, CLEMENTS. And in closing, I want to give shout outs to the families of Jesse Hatch, Henry Money Griffin, and Nick Lee. These are individuals that passed away inside of our jails or prisons during COVID-19. Thank you.
Oh, wow. And don't go anywhere there, Mr.
Oh,
Clemens.
I'm here.
Miss Trisha Martin.
Hey everybody, I just want to say I'm sitting here almost with tears in my eyes, just listening to everybody's story, realizing how blessed my life truly is. I have 3 sons and a daughter, and my oldest boy is 31, then the others are 24 and 21, and we all know that those are critical ages. And even though my 24-year-old got in trouble early on in his life, he straightened up. But I just sitting here listening to everybody. I am truly blessed and just happy to be a part of offering my spiritual services. My official legal name of my business is Life Advice by Divine Order. If anybody, needs spiritual therapy, I am anointed, appointed, and approved by the divine. I don't know how I do what I do. I just show up and spirit shows out. So I would like to offer anybody on this panel, a gift of my services. Not everybody, but everybody on this panel. So I'm just happy to be here and a part of it.
Spiritual certain. I need it. I need it. I mean, low key, we all do. That's just be
How do I get in touch with you? I
you
need
can
it.
either Google Life Advice by Divine Order or email me at finallytheredhawk@gmail.com. That's FINALLYTHEREDHAWK@gmail.com.
And you could always go on Flavors My Bill, because I think I tagged most of you. Zalonda, I did not tag you. So definitely you're always welcome. And I, support everybody communicating, getting to know each other, because we're going to be working together. So you might as well get it figured out. We're going to be family.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yup. So now we're in studio. Next to me.
You got your girl Chantel in the building. I love him.
Hi, Chantel.
Hello.
Miss McGee.
Hello, everyone. I'm, as she calls me, Miss McGee. That's what we're going to go with. I have a couple of different companies I'm out here doing. I have Slithern Entertainment. That's a promotion company that I run. I have Special Occasions and More. We do gifts of all creations all year round. So hit me up if you ever have any ideas of anything you need. We got promotions on everything around the building. And I also do financial services. I have Infinity Financial. We do credit repair. We do taxes. We do everything. So I'm trying to employ the world and help the world get their self together.
Dig that.
One time, there's no reason to pay people $500 for taxes when you can do it yourself. I promise you, I'll teach you how. There's no reason to pay $500 to do nobody with a credit repair, because I can promise you, I can teach you how to do it for free.
Mr.
What is
Trey
your
Ball on the
information?
meat.
It was there.
What was your information, baby?
For which company, huh?
You did say a lot of them. The taxes.
Taxes.
The
It's
tax
Infinity Financial Services. I'm Rosa McGee on Facebook, so I'll definitely look you up, hon. I'm cloaked, but I definitely will look you up, and we'll touch bases after that.
Okay.
All right, my people get with your
Okay.
people. Trey Ball on the beat.
Look, I'll find you.
Yes, I'm CEO of Slamwell Entertainment. I provide studio time, professional engineering. If you need beats and good quality music, that's what I provide for the community.
Them glasses is fire. I ain't no glasses fire. We just gonna skip over Slicktown, because he done skipped over us over here. Mr. Jamal Ingram. And then Brandon Long.
Hey, what up, world? This your homeboy Ghost, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the demonstration, man. You can catch me on Facebook, Brandon Long on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram, Ghostly Entertainment 314. Mostly all important, man. Y'all know I say the same thing. Catch me in traffic, catch me in the street, catch me in the hood, catch me anywhere in the streets of St. Louis, because I can go anywhere and be anywhere. So when you see me, come and holler, what up?
What up? What up? That's definitely, and we're going to definitely be playing something on the way out. So anyone have anything to say before we close out? We got 5 minutes.
I would like to tell everybody to please reach out to me. I'd like to contact all of you individually.
I will do. I'm interested in your housing, sir.
309-542-6319. And that gets around a lot of things.
Repeat that, sir.
309-542-6319.
And Mr. Clements.
Yes, ma'am.
What is on your agenda? Because we definitely want to get you here. So hopefully, I think we talked about maybe May, but what's going on in Chicago that we need to be following you up there?
Well, what I'm taking a look at now is a different aspect of Chicago police tortures, looking at the fact as to why these agencies did not properly investigate police torture. to provide a newer avenue for individuals to pursue their legal cases. We are also fighting for all of the 100 individuals that were tortured to at least be granted new trials and to be granted their release. You know, the bottom line of it is in Chicago, we are also dealing with a large percentage of individuals that have been shot by police. So, you know, it's a lot on the radar. I also work with Black Lives Matters, where I am a board member in the city of Chicago with them, and just trying to at least educate my people, my Black brothers and sisters, and hope that we can all achieve something together.
And you have a show. Please to let everyone know when you air, how to catch you, because you're a podcaster too.
Yes, and I am typically on at 10:30 in the evening, and I speak about primarily any type of different topics, but I do pick different topics per day, and they all center around the criminal justice system. And you can find those programs by going to Facebook Live.
And looking for Mark Clements.
Right, looking for Mark Clements. You're right.
So as we get ready to close out the show, Underground Flavors, I hope everyone found this to be a very eclectic conversation. And believe me, for the new people who's come on, you know, Chris has done a phenomenal job with Subaru and, you know, Bamba Socks, and, you know, he's 501c3, and, you know, people are connecting with him. Like, that's a go. You know, it's a go. And then we have Mr. Jamal Ingram. He's here. We love the music. We got Brandon Long. I love his music. Like, everybody is doing their thing already in process. So the goal is, yes, I want to unify with people who want to unify with me. I don't want to have to throw no elbows. I like to sit down with people who are of a like-minded spirit.
And it's organic.
It's organic and real. Like, I feel everybody's stories was real here today. Nothing was blown up to make it seem like one was better than the other or greater than the other, or did more than somebody else.
We had a mutual comment with all of us.
Hey,
Y'all had a
if we
similarity
have,
in between
one
us
more
in some shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
There was no gender difference, so there was no, oh, you a female, we experienced it different, or you was a male because you came from a different demographic. You might experience something different. So, yeah, like you said, it was organic.
Yes, I mean, and we've had some very, very, very wonderful shows. I mean, these have been very, very fire. Just felt one got a little off topic and a little bit out of hand. So I definitely, and it made me mad. And I don't want to go back to that again, because it's not to people to be boasting and, you know, be proud.
But we did the dump truck. We did the dump
Okay.
truck thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We did the dump truck with all of the bad, and we just dumped it out. You know what I'm saying?
And so keeping it moving forward, we got to make sure, though, that people don't come back and bring another dump truck load back in.
Dig that.
All right.
Spiking tires.
And spiking tires.
Hey,
and so you get rid of one, here comes another truck. And it's really about mentality. And that's why I throw that out there. It's about mentality and mindset. So when you come to the table, we want to hear everything that what you're going through. We just want to make sure it's real and it's relevant to the conversation. You pick up friends, pick up friends. But I just want to make sure that if you picked up my friends, that you're going to be telling them the truth.
Yep.
See, that's the only thing that makes me leery, is if somebody on my panel, you pick up my people and you not truthful.
Exactly.
So now my people are being spun for no reason. They being spun through lies. So I definitely want to put the pause on that any way, shape, or form, because I don't like nobody being lied to. And I don't like to be lied to. So that's where I come in as far as being very protective of my people in cases. So I'm just doing it out of love, not out of smothering.
Oh, no, you mama bearing it.
I'm mama bearing it, and I must and I have to. So with that being said,
Yes.
you got it. So now we are going to play Mr. Brandon Long, Ghost.
Hey.
So you want getting paid or get out the mud?
Oh, we got to go get it out the mud.
I hope you said that. I hope you said that. I hope you said that.
We
All
got
right, so this is Ghost getting out the mud, baby.
Right before you start that, can I say something real quick?
I'm back at it with another hit.
Here to get a hood, another volume of some real shit. I'm out the mud, gritting and flipping these bean pies. Like the Muslim dudes, and they fly suits and they bow ties. Tie bow, about to kick it up in the beast mode. They let me off the leash, yeah, they never should've released ghosts. Now I'm back home and I'm turf stomping like Breeze Holmes. Land of the savage, residing wherever beasts roam. Savage with it is beast life, I'm gorilla. The monster in your hood, I'm the newest version of Thriller. I'm out the mud with it, no handouts, just hand ups. One false move, then it's man down, your man's touched. Certified, in the hood say I'm official. I said what I said, so I hope you heard me crystal. Yeah, fuck your connect, I became my own plug. Cause real niggas know the business when you get it out the mud. These niggas capping cause I ain't seeing they bag. And if I'm riding like you ride, well a nigga, I'm about to crash. If I'm moving how you move, well a nigga, I'll never last. St. Louis stamping me, they validated my past. Get it out the mud, I'm professor and teaching classes. Ain't no virtual learning, I'm educating the masses. Had to give a different look, I had to switch out the glasses. Took my dough, divvied it up, and elevated the stashes. Yeah, I'm from a city of muzzle flashes and caskets. Hating niggas, they never move forward, only backwards. And plenty rap maggots who can't fathom my tax bracket. Bread like elastic, it keeps stretching, don't need to stack. I used to get that pack in and then I dish it off. Contribute to the score with the assists, like I'm Chris Paul. You think I'm mad now, don't wanna see me pissed off. I hopped off the porch with a dedication to hood laws. And stood tall on any drama the hood brought, and handle any op in the spider web that the hood caught. Then I paid respects to the fallen soldiers that hood lost. Took field trips, slid for them, skirting and dual exhaust. Yeah, these real niggas show me love, you know the streets fucking with me cause I get it out the mud. The whole hood stand up, you know the streets riding with me cause I get it out the mud. The whole hood know what's up, you know the city fucking with me cause I get it out the mud. The real niggas know what's up, you know the streets riding with me cause I get it out the mud.